Welcome, guys. Welcome. Saturday evening. Welcome. I'm so tired. If you see it in my face, I forgive me. It's been a long day. But today's session is going to be short but impactful. As you know, we have been going through a lot of discussions on the topic of AI. And tonight's session is no other, no different. But it will not have an in person someone in my studio. I will be playing excerpts from her podcast that you can find on Spotify. She's a very dear friend of mine. Now I've grown to know that when you associate yourself with persons, they tend to navigate in the same space that you are in. So we think alike in certain instances. And when I went on her podcast, I saw the wealth of discussion that she had. And I said, why not share it? We had a discussion to come on in studio, but the times were not the same. So I asked permission and she gave me. So I am here discussing the topic. So let's get into it. But before, what a discussion last week. We had a person that is profound in his profession, and he basically broke it down in no shorter term. I have a listing that he gave me that I will be putting together and putting it on under the actual session that you can use in your own space and time on all topics that we discussed and even more. All right. So today's topic is something that I hold dear to myself because after having that conversation with Mr. Thorpe, I thought of it to go this journey, getting the human AI into the space, and let's talk about it. So let me share my screen and then we can get some things going. All right. Okay. So we had discussions on the topic here, psychological effects of AI, what we need to know. And it was a profound way of looking at how it affects the Liza effect. It was one of the things that I took. And there was some other stuff. Let me just look for my things. I'm gonna bring up my notes. The Eliza effect was one of it. The parasocial. Let me leave this to the things that he actually gave. But the Eliza effect was something that I took note of. And the AI psychophancy, right? So it's the AI basically telling you what you need, saying yes to everything that you actually ask it, basically, right? And the AI psychosis. So there are so many things that came across in that discussion. I will not bite my tongue pronouncing these highfalutin words. But what I can say to you, if you have not yet read, not yet watched, not yet seen, go. All right? So let me break for a minute and then I'll come back to you. Back, people. Back. A little distortion, but we're back. I had to fix my internet, but we're back. So, sharing back my screen. Hopefully, I don't have any distractions again. Please, Lord. Now, my dear friend, Dr. Dianna Davis Smith, emotional slash human intelligence and AI. What we need to know about empathy, human connection, and AI. How do you feel using the tool? Do you think it has human intelligence? I don't. Emotional intelligence needs to be a factor that you need to look into. So let's look into it. As I said to you, we're going to listen. Then we're going to see what she says, and then we're going to have a discussion. All right? Let's go. So the first one up, as I said, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Is this one? So let me share that screen. Let me go and share that screen for you so you can be able to see it. Let me cancel this and then find it. But in the meantime, think about it. Human intelligence and AI, what do you think about it? What was, if you heard about that term before, what was your knowledge on it? When you hear it, what does your thoughts come in? Leave something in the chat. Let me hear from you. All right, so I'm going to have to do it from here. All right, cool. Share. So let's see what happens. Here. All right. Where I come. All right. Tell them when they're ready for the ice cream, just knock me. Sorry about that. Trying to figure out where my spots is. So let's hear what's happening. All right, I think I need to come off of it and then carry to a window, which is this window. And then we can share again. When you see technology has its way of brute forcing you, and this is what happens. So I'm gonna share again and then probably use the entire screen, which is this one, and then share with audio, and then we are going in. So let's have this, let's hear it.
Some AI tools can help us.
Let's start it from the very first top. All right, so going back to it. So she has a plateau of it here, but the one that we're going to speak on is this one. So wow, I played it from the top, but I need to play it again. Let me stop sharing for a minute and give myself some time to get this thing sorted out. let's break. I'm gonna come off screen for a minute. Let's get some things done. Guys, sorry about that intermission break. Not let me just pause for a minute and just relax because this is more than that. I realized that I actually played it and I couldn't go back to it. So therefore, that's the reason why I had to make it stop and play back again. Wow. So if you do watch this and you see me going around, it's because of that. Today is one of those days. So let me share. And then the internet is just playing itself with me today. So what a day to try and do a podcast, right? So here it is. The episode is on human touch in an AI era. What and it's from one of our topic called Embrace and Restore. That's the theme of her podcast. And it's basically personalizing the content in basic in looking at how we look at automate grading. If it can teach children to manage their own feelings after losing a game on the playground, it can comfort a child whose parent died. That's the irreplaceable human role. So share some thoughts with me on this topic. What human side of what one human side you think AI cannot replace? Tell me. Let me hear from you. So let me play and let's hear from her.
Or good afternoon, wherever it is that you are at. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not so sure about this recording. I'll probably end up having to delete my applause if at all the applause is in the background. But thank you for being here. I'm Dianna Davis Smith, and welcome to another episode of Embrace and Restore, a space where I focus on all things emotional intelligence, all things restorative practices. In a nutshell, just trying to create a better version of us, of myself, of you, of all of us, of the space within which we operate, which we live. I had promised in my last episode that we would look at the human touch, but I wanted to be very specific that as we nurture emotional intelligence
See?
within this AI era,
Mm-hmm.
how do we maintain that human touch against the background of AI? No, emotional intelligence in my head and my space is vital. Let me tell you, it's vital to everything. It is vital in education. And I say it again, it is vital in education, especially as AI tools become more common. So while AI can personalize content or it can automate the grading,
All right. So I stop here just to have a thought coming out of my head. We took on the use of AI when it came 2, 3 years ago. But many persons didn't have the thought of what it ignite to know. So you have to understand, as you grow along and as you learn and you nurture the use of it, you realize that the human touch has to be play a part in the whole usage of it. You have to have a balance. So as we listen to what she has to say, I want you to not just listen, but give yourself some thought as how has it been for you using AI, not for just grading or personal learning, but using it in your space. The other day, I had a conversation with some educators that I'm actually teaching for the summer. And this topic came up, and I'll go back to this clip. They realized that students are really not gravitating to the course material that they actually have at the early childhood level. I'm talking. They're more for tablets and apps and stuff. So with the use of AI now, I showed them a different side of learning where they can create platforms or they can create engaging materials that students will be able to come to be able to engage with, be able to open their eyes. So that's one of the use of AI, bringing what you know to life. Let's hear more.
it can't teach the children to manage their feelings
They
after
can't.
losing a game.
No, they
It
can't.
cannot.
It cannot.
It can't comfort a child whose family member has passed, has been shot, or is missing.
Yes.
That's the irreplaceable human role. Now, research, and I love jumping to my research. I said,
Yes.
research shows just how important that is. A major meta analysis by this guy, Joseph, and his colleagues in 2011
Wow.
looked at over 200 school based social emotional learning programs.
Wow.
What were the results? The students in these programs improved academic performance by an average of 11 percentile points. That is no joke.
No, that's no joke.
Social and emotional learning, or SEL, has been endorsed by major organizations: CASEL, UNESCO, me, Dianna Davis Smith, us here
Yes.
at Embrace and Restore, WHO. It's not a nice to have. It is essential for developing well rounded, resilient, and empathetic citizens. It may be defined, this whole emotional intelligence, into 5 core competencies, and let us look at them.
Yes.
1, self awareness,
Self
self
awareness.
management. 2, 3, social awareness. 4, relationship skills. 5, responsible decision making. This is how Cassell defines them.
Yes.
Baron categorizes the 5 core competencies by naming them differently, but at the end, it all come up to the same thing. So let us look at Cassell, because I like Cassell too.
Uh,
CASEL.
Castle. I
No,
will be
teachers
reading
already
that
model these
literature in a
skills
minute.
daily. When they pause to help students name emotions, resolve conflicts, or set goals,
Yes.
they're really fostering the development of emotional intelligence within these students, within that space. But with AI entering the classrooms, there's a risk that the human connection take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
We might automate quiz delivery, but we can never automate empathy. That is why it is so important to keep the human touch in learning.
Yes.
Some AI tools can help us to support the delivery of the social emotional learning. For example, journaling apps in terms of promoting self
That's
reflection
done.
or role playing simulations that teach perspective taking. But these must complement,
Compliment.
not replace.
Thank you. I paused there for a moment. We had discussions at a higher level when I was doing a research and presented my scope on a particular argument. And questions were asked in the room. Are we now in the era of AI tools replacing teachers? And I'm saying this broadly so persons can see my face and hear what I'm saying. No, it cannot. Traditional way of teaching will not dissipate or not disappear from the classroom. It only augments or complements, as what Dr. Dianna Smith just said. We use a tool in such a way to make things more improved, if such be, right? And take things at a higher level, improve of what topics that we taught 2 3 years ago. While it is still relevant in the scope of what you're teaching, it needs a little oomph. So when you use a tool, you can have it create that different background that you never thought about, and the students be able to dissect the information in a more creative and informed manner. So let us continue the conversation with Dr. Dianna Smith. Let's go, Doc.
Is human relationships. Let me say that again.
Yes.
AI entering the classroom, there's a risk that the human connection is taking a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
But let us recognize that as educators,
Yes.
some AI tools can help us to support social emotional learning, but these must complement our human effort, not replace, because it cannot replace the human
No, it
relationships.
cannot.
As educators, let us therefore integrate emotional intelligence in a very deliberate way. Let us make space in the timetable for social emotional learning activities. Let us, you're going to tell me this, the timetable. Let us find a minute, if it's even when they're coming into the classroom or just before lunch or when they come back for lunch or before they leave home.
Yes.
Let us make
Make some
space in the
time for that.
timetable for social emotional learning
Yes.
activities. Let us use storytelling to discuss emotions and ethical choices.
Yeah.
When we think ethical choices in Jamaica, the first thing that comes to mind as story is Anansi.
And
Let us
Nancy,
use our
that
Anansi stories
well-known
to discuss
cultural
emotions and to discuss
theme,
ethical choices.
well-known
Let
cultural
us
story.
as adults, let us as teachers, as educators, as influencers, recognize ourselves as influencers and model empathy in every interaction.
Yes, we do. We have to.
Our children must learn more from what we do than from what we say.
Yes, it is.
My friends, thanks for being here. Let us balance the efficiencies of artificial intelligence with the depth of emotional intelligence so that we can ensure that schools remain places of belonging and care. And not just schools. Let us practice this in our personal lives and our professional
Wow.
spaces so that those spaces can
And be
remain
able to,
places of belonging and
yes,
care.
yes.
Thank you so much for joining me. I trust that your takeaway is good
Yes,
and you'll
mine
find
is. And
something
I
within
know
this
everyone who gets
sufficiently
a
to
chance to
provoke you
go
to
through this
act
will.
differently, to embrace emotional intelligence, and to use artificial intelligence to augment the learning, and the relationships that we cultivate within our personal spaces and within our professional spaces.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. So as I stop sharing now and I go back to the discussion board, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. It's a lot that she had spoken on, and we just need to go down the ladder with it. We made some very good points, and I can replay if I need to, but I won't. It does not replace, and social emotional learning is it's a way forward. It's a topic that's not much discussed. And she gave me an idea of that my next topic here on Teacher Chronicles. But we have to take into consideration, guys, as educators, to place some of these activities on our timetable to help our students learn better in the classroom. As we also state that the human intelligence, the emotional intelligence, is what we need in the classroom. AI can't replace that. It can't. Right? So we have to understand that. Very profound words. And I must say, I learned something tonight. Let us not be daunted by what has happened in the actual sphere of technology. But I'm going back to my slide again. Yes. So let's go. Let's hear it. Let's see it. So the next thing that we're going to be speaking on, and I must say, it's one of the other things that I'm so close to. What are your thoughts on the use of AI in education? It's not a stale factor now, it's something that is very, very profound. It's spoken in every place right now. And the other day, I recently read in the Gleaner that no thoughts are placed out there on getting our public sector workforce more engaged in the use of AI. It's a learning now. It's not an option. It's a part. It should be a part of their skill development. And I must say kudos to the minister, because this is something that must be discussed at the table now. Because AI, digital transformation, digital ecosystems that are being developed, and we are part of it, cannot be a silent topic. It must be something that you, me, must be able to speak of and knowledgeable about. It's not one person. Everyone needs to be aware of what it is that we are working in and what the tool can do for us as workers. So the table has been set, as one of my friends would say, what we're going to do around the table, what it is that we're going to make a statement with. So let's hear the doc speak on this, one of our next podcasts that she actually did on this same topic. And let's hear what she had to say about this same topic that we are going to be looking at. What are the feelings that she needs to have? And as I place it on screen, you are seeing it. So let me stop my chill spot rhythm, and let's play what she has to say in regards to this very topical issue. Shall we start with that?
Welcome again to Embrace and Restore. I'm Dianna Davis Smith. This is a space where we talk emotional intelligence, we talk restorative practices, but you're here. Last episode, I looked at the foundations of artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, and how, as educators, we have to recognize that we have to fuse these two within our spaces, our classrooms, and we have to take it into the workplace as well. For those of us who are leaders or supervisors, or just employees within the space, we have to balance that emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence. The technologies are transformative and it
Very
is happening.
transformative.
But thanks for joining. And in this episode, I'm going to, I did say that we needed to be mindful, if I recall correctly, that whilst we're preparing children for world filled with smart machines,
Yes,
we needed to ensure that they remained compassionate,
and thought,
ethical,
ethical,
and of course human.
human.
So today I'm going to look at transformative technologies. What are these technologies that cause me to title my series Bridging Minds? What is it? AI in the classroom. What is that really? Why
Yes.
should we be concerned? And why should we not be concerned?
Look here.
How is
I pause here for a cause. I don't know for anyone else, but AI in the classroom it has different effects and impact. And one of the things that we have to be very mindful of is the inclusiveness of it being utilized. Doc said, as it stated, we must not take away the spotlight of human being a part of the transition in our classroom with our students. Smart devices, smart technology is all around us now. We cannot escape it. It's a part of our curve now, and we must just try to embrace it in any way possible. So, as we step aside and look at the broader picture to where education is actually going, we must know, pivot, and learn what we can learn now so we can be able to transit and be relevant in the space that we're actually surviving in. So, let's hear more about what it is.
AI transforming classrooms right now? What should educators know in order to make informed choices? So, AI's role in education has grown quickly.
Mhm.
It's almost like poof.
It's part of us
And
now.
there's an estimation that edtech artificial intelligence will surpass $25 billion globally by 2030. Yep.
If we memory serve right, our vision 30s mean a game and our is to have that a part of our transition in our digital transformation. Are you ready? The classroom is flipped. Are you ready? That's my term. I When I started this journey on advocacy with AI, many persons looked at me and say, I hope you know what you're doing. I myself took a time, stepped back, and did my research. I know I can say to someone, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Studies have shown that while we choose to use the tool, it can make life a little, and not little, more better to get you in the space now, using the tool so you can be able to do what you want to do, which is teaching. Because now the tool has taken away, not taken away, wrong choice of word, has eased the burden, has lightened the load, has done the heavy lifting so you can be able to do other things. Feedback knowledge to your students, creating other aspects of learning in a better bit, in a more way, because the exhaustive things that you are doing, the mundane tasks that you were actually tied to do, have now changed because you are able to use the tool to get that done. So let's hear more about it. As Dr. Dianna Davis Smith breaks down it in sectors, let's hear what she has to say.
Yep. We're in 2025 and it's more than halfway done. But what does that mean to the average person? Yes, it went past $25 billion globally by 2030. So what? First, let's talk adaptive learning.
Hmm.
Programs like Dreambox and Smart Sparrow tailor lessons in real time to,
Yes. And not just
to a
that alone.
student's
They are
skill level.
magic school.
Let me say that again.
Not just that she just spoke about. You have magic school. You have edu-aid. You have a plateau of them. I'm just going through my knowledge to see. You have brisk now that can be able to get adaptive learning. You have prompts that you can be able to write, so you can be able to get that adaptive learning. aspect out of your actual course material. And let her not say it, there are many other, even Jamaica has created their own adaptive learning platform, right? So that part of it has to be some form of knowledge. And let's hear more on what she has to say about the adaptive learning platforms.
Programs like Dreambox or Smart Sparrow, these are adaptive learning. They tailor lessons in real time to a student's skill level. A Rand Corporation study found that students using adaptive math systems outperformed peers by 8 to 20%
Wow,
points. That's a whole heap.
that's a whole heap.
That's not trivial. It means students get targeted help
Yes.
without waiting for teachers grading.
No.
Okay, so that's the adaptive learning.
She's gonna go to personal learning now, but there, you heard the numbers. Did you hear the numbers? This is great. This is great.
There's another concept of automated feedback. So tools like Turnitin and Grammarly, you remember those that
Yes.
use natural language processing to offer writing suggestions or to
And
check for
copy
plagiarism.
leaks. Yes.
This saves teachers hours of marking time while giving students instant feedback. So that's the automated feedback that we've been seeing and using for years.
Yes.
It's AI. Now, language learning has also embraced artificial intelligence. So apps like Duolingo, which teaches, they use chatbots and gamification. They're leveraging AI to provide custom practice exercise.
Wow.
Duolingo reports that improved retention among users interacting with the AI tutor. So there is more focus, there's more deliberate intent
Yes.
among the learners to use it because of the interaction with the AI. But these benefits come with challenges.
Yes,
Yes.
they do.
One
As
major
every system
concern
does.
is something called algorithmic bias. Okay? Algorithmic bias. So during COVID, some schools had to use predictive grading
Yes.
based on past performance data for
Yes.
students since they couldn't be there.
Yeah.
And this had some negative impact in that some students were unfairly penalized or because their prior scores didn't reflect their true and current potential. So that's a bias.
Yes.
Then there's a privacy. It's another issue. Children's learning data is sensitive.
So
So you need to have regulations to protect this
policy
data.
now. We speak on policy now.
You need to have regulations to protect, but then you need to have enforcement, and compliance is going to vary. One
Yes.
place to the next, who is complying with the Data Protection Act, who is doing that, who is not. So the enforcement is tricky and compliance is going to vary.
Yes.
But these are things that we have to be mindful of.
I'm very mindful.
AI can also reinforce inequities in access. Schools in district with better internet or parishes with better internet or communities or district, whatever it is, have better devices and the teachers are trained. Meanwhile, you're going to find some other schools that
That
are
are not yet
far
with that
less
need.
funding. They're underfunded. And they'll
Infrastructure is
struggle
not
to
there
adapt to these tools if they adapt at all.
at all.
So, having said all of that,
Huh.
what is it in a nutshell?
Miss.
AI in education offers huge promise, but it's not a magic.
No,
It's
it's
a
not.
tool.
It's not a
The
one day
key
thing
for
as well.
educators to be critical consumers. So, as educators, we have to be critical in our consumption. We have to ask these questions. Who created the AI tool? How does it make predictions? Does it work equally well for all students? What data is collected? And who has access to that data by understanding the transformative potential
All of it
and the
being done.
risk, we as teachers can make better decisions for our students.
Yes, we can.
I think I'm going to take a little break because the next time, what I really ought to look at is the human touch in all of this. So we've looked at that side, but join me, huh, Diana Davis Smith, in the next episode where we look at the human side. Thanks for joining. Embrace and restore, and subscribe. No,
I know by the time she finishes this, in terms of the person's putting it out, um, the subscription with a little bit more, right? So she did say, yes, a lot. She did mention things that, as you follow this trend in AI in education, these are things that you will hear at the forefront of the discussion: policies, ethical standards, enforcement, adaptive learning, inclusivity in terms of who uses it and where it is actually being done, infrastructural readiness for institutions. So these are not new discussions. These are things that if you're having that discussion with anyone, it must come up across. So, as she says, go ahead, subscribe to her, and when you're done, follow us on Power of Faith, Power of Teaching, where things will look a little bit different when you follow us on the channel. Now, the next thing that we're going to be looking at is the last slide, which the last topic as we wrap up. What are your thoughts on AI in a conference room? I mean, when I listened to her conversation on this thing, it was so enriching, and I said I didn't want to listen to it alone. I wanted to share it. So let's hear. But as I said to you before, now the industry of labor force is thinking of now putting on at the table training for persons, not just lower level, but everyone, in the use of AI. So let's hear what they have to say about this. Hmm. So let's hear what she has to say.
how do we, as emotionally intelligent leaders, navigate this new dynamic without losing the very humanity that defines successful generations
Mm.
or successful organizations? Let us paint a detailed picture. Now, the quarterly board meeting,
Yes.
the agenda, a
Mm-hmm.
major restructuring to stay competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, the consultant or the advisor is the AI strategic folk. So, the new AI strategic advisor has been fed decades of market data,
Mm-hmm.
work analytics, and global financial models, projects its analysis onto the screen,
Yes.
the dreaded overhead screen drops down, and we're going to look at the advisor, the AI strategic advisor. The plan is computationally flawless. Have to give it that much.
Yes.
It maximizes short term shareholder value. It identifies redundant roles and departments with chilling accuracy. And it projects a 22% increase in operational efficiency within 18 months. The numbers are clean, the numbers are clear, and the truth is undeniable.
Yes.
But the algorithm has no lived experience.
Ah.
Its plan does not count for Gloria, who works in accounting, a single mother who has
Yes.
been the heart of her team for more than 15 years. the one who organizes the farewell parties and makes
Yes.
sure everybody sign the card, and she know when everybody child pass GSAT or PEP or whatever other exam they take to go to high schools in your space.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sense the simmering anxiety in the room among the human members. It can't read how the CEO is slumping and shoulders are falling, which shows he's deeply uncomfortable with the sheer human cost of
Mm-hmm.
these recommendations. And we might label those recommendations these sterile recommendations.
Yes.
The AI has presented a brilliant technical solution, but it has no concept of the human problem it's creating, a crisis of trust, a
Yes.
crisis of psychological safety, and a collective morale that could cripple the company culture for years.
Mm-hmm.
This is a precise moment where emotional intelligence must not just step in, but emotional intelligence must take the lead. The traditional low EI question is the data correct? The restorative, highly emotional intelligent questions
Have you ever experienced anything like this, what she's speaking of? The data is so pristine, the information is so collectively impactful, flawless. But as she said, the sensitivity, the humanness of it is not there. And that's a cause for thought. Let's hear more.
are, however, who is being affected by this decision, and how do we make this transition in a way that honors the dignity and the contributions of everyone involved? And crucially, how do we repair the inevitable ruptures that
Yes.
this will cause? Let's think about it. This just isn't just feel good philosophy, it is sound business strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And research has been done by MIT Sloan Management Review, and consistently it has shown that companies that lead with empathy and strong human skill significantly outperform their peers in profitability, in productivity, and in innovation. Not me.
You hear what that says? So it clearly paints a picture, right? Not saying that you can't adapt to the innovation of use of AI. And I must say, every industry has its own way of integrating such tools. But do remember that the humanistic side of things plays a pivotal role, and it sometimes, in most cases, are the star of the show or the champion of the ball game.
Me, Diana Davis Smith saying that, but there is the research to support it. Furthermore, a seminal study published by Nature Machine Intelligence
Mm-hmm.
highlights the profound danger of the bias in, bias out, where AI can automate and scale existing human prejudices in hiring,
Yes.
promotions, and firings, if not constantly audited for fairness by what? Human oversight. But this conversation takes on a critical and urgent dimension in countries like Jamaica,
Yeah.
in developing economies.
Mm-hmm.
The intense pressure to adopt cutting edge tech for a competitive edge can create a significant digital sovereignty.
Yes,
It is a concern.
it is.
Many of these advanced AI tools are developed in and by the global north, potentially embedding Western cultural values, individualistic business models.
And you have to take a thought back and listen to what she's saying because it's true. Most of these models are built upon third other countries' contexts, not Jamaican. So the governance and the relevance has to be relooked and reviewed. So therefore, it fits what it is, the purpose that it should fit in our country. So this is something that we have to look into when we try to adapt and place it in our workforce. Strong thought.
And short term profit motives that perhaps don't align with local context or long term community stability.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real risk of a new form of technological colonialism where developing nations become mere data providers and consumers, not co creators or
Yes.
decision makers in the AI space. The concern here is not just job displacement,
No,
but
it's
the
not.
displacement of entire cultural approaches to business leadership
Mm-hmm.
and community welfare. Think on it.
Yes, I am.
Next week, we're taking this conversation from the corporate world to the halls of academia. Yes, to the education sector. What happened?
Now, as we pause to reflect, we have to take into the consideration of what she just said. And it's a lot she said, but it's very relevant and impactful and it's worth thinking on. So what I did was look at all the things that I had talked about today and build a little roadmap for AI, human first, AI forward. So we start at keep the human touch. First thing first out there. Protect empathy, care, and authentic connection. We cannot have a integration of such things without making sure that we place the human touch in it and don't replace it. It has to be a part of the discussion. Build awareness now. Build AI awareness. Now, grow confidence, understanding, and digital literacy has to be a part of your integration process. You can't have it integrated inside of your workforce without having training being done. So that's why I said to you, I really lift my hat to the labor ministry because now they are seeing the need for it. A little later I say, but the need is needed. The need is necessary, and we are going to be taking into it. So kudos for you, Minister. Very good initiative. Lead with responsibility. Use AI wisely, ethically, and with human oversight. I cannot say much about this because, as I said to you before, when you look into where AI has come from and where it is now, you cannot say anything more than think about it. The human oversight and judgment has to be a part of it. Even when you're marking your students' work, sometimes you see this nice put together solution, but you know by the bottom of your heart that this was an AI assisted. So you have to use a human judgment because sometimes the actual feedback analysis or the predictive um, tools that they use don't get it all right every time. Lead balance emotional intelligence along with AI. Fear emotional intelligence and smart technology. So the two of them have to coexist and you have to connect them together, right? As she said, emotional intelligence has to be a forefront. The social intelligence in terms of the learning style has to be a part of our activity in the classroom. So you have to pair emotional intelligence with smart technology. We have to think about what we're doing now. Create human-centered practice. Use AI to assist, enhance, and empower people. So when you're doing the workforce development training, it's not to replace your stock inventory person or your customer service representative, but it's to make sure that they learn the tools that can be able to carry them from where they are to the next level in their skill set, in their career path, to enhance their efficiency and productivity in their space. Not saying they've not done that, but it complements it more. And the last one, turn insights into action. So train, guide, and reflect and innovate with purpose. So you have to use a tool to be impactful knowledge, impactful decision making, right? And all of this came from the 3 podcasts that was done. And as I state in the bottom, the future belongs to those who use AI with empathy, ethics, and purpose. Thank you guys for staying with me. So as we wrap up tonight's session, Yes, Teacher Chronicles is going to be on the road for a week or two. You may see us in your corner, coming back with fresh stories, bold ideas, and inspired teaching. Innovation of AI and technology will be going somewhere, some corner. We may be in your own town, so look out for us and follow us as we journey across the different roads, the different pathways, the different cities, new voices, empowering educators everywhere, right? So thank you for staying with me for so many weeks. And as we close out, I want to say a special thanks again to Dr. Dianna Davis Smith for profoundness in terms of these thoughtful topics. As I found your insights very relevant. And as I say to you all the time, you have given me a different side of research, because everything that I'm doing is out of what she has taught me to say. Anything that you're going to speak on, look for the literature, look for what is happening out there, and then speak profoundly to that. So I thank you, ma'am. So as I wrap up, I always say to you, keep being curious. Keep asking the question, what AI can do for me now? What it is that I need to know more about AI. Remember now to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, because you never know. Our next podcast may be coming, and it's only community members will be a part of the show. So your host is, yes, your host is Suzette Morrison Curtis. And I thank you for having me in your space. As we sign out, I just want to say thank you and have yourself a wonderful evening.